knowing how to pace your runs and how to pace your races is a real challenge, and something that beginner runners and experienced runners are constantly having to work on and adjust. Now, there are many different ways that you can pace your training runs and your races. Some people like to use heart rate, some people like to go on feel, some people like to use the pace that they're running at as a way to judge how quickly or how slowly they should be going. And I like to use power. You can use a pod on your foot, or in my case I'm using the Chorus Pace 2 watch, which has a power metric built into it. So in this video I'm going to show you how to precisely and accurately work out your training zones. So let's finish our warm-up and go through exactly what we need to do. Okay guys, that's my warm-up complete. So I've just done 20 minutes of easy running. In a moment I'm going to do a few strides and a few dynamic stretches just to finish that off. So the FTP test consists of 2 short efforts that you run at the maximum effort you can sustain. And I'm going to put all the details up on the screen so that you can follow along. So after you've done your warm-up, the first effort that you're going to do is a 3-minute effort. Now when you start that effort, you want to hit the lap button on your watch so that you can get the power for that specific interval. After the 3 minutes is up, hit the lap button again, and then you're going to have a good 10 or even 15 minutes of a rest interval in between that and your next effort. After that 10 or 15 minute sort of rest interval, you're then going to go into your second effort, and that is a 9-minute effort. So a longer effort, which you'll obviously have to think about how you pace that. You can't go all out for 9 minutes because you're going to have a good spike at the start and it's going to slowly decline, and that's not going to give you a very accurate number. After that's complete, it's just a question of cooling down for sort of 10 to 20 minutes or so, and then obviously doing whatever your post-run routine is. So when I've completed those 2 efforts, we'll go back to the house, we'll fire up the laptop, and we're going to input that data and then look at what we can do with those training zones. So I'm going to ditch the jacket now. I've taken an energy gel about 10 minutes ago, which will kick in just a little bit, and we're going to go and do the first of those efforts. Okay, we are good to go on that first 3-minute effort. So I'm at the start of the route that I want to run. Now it's important that you choose somewhere where you're not going to have to sort of break your stride, you haven't got to worry about cars crossing or any sort of particularly sort of sharp turns. So let's get the watch ready. I'm going to hit that lap button and then start the first effort. Here we go. So 3 minutes isn't long, but it is a long time if you go off too hard and get the pacing wrong. So I'll probably catch up with you in the last 30 seconds or so. Okay, going into the last 30 seconds or so. So you've got to try and stay strong and smooth for this last bit. Just a little bit more. Okay, 10 seconds to go, and then we'll start that 9-minute effort. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Away. Don't go off too hard. 9 minutes, it's a long time. 10 to go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, that was so hard. Whew. Oh. So all that is left to do is to cool down, upload that data to Strava or Training Peaks or whatever platform you use, and then we're going to look at how we analyze it. So enough waffling, let's get cooled down. I need a drink, I need something to eat, and let's get back at the laptop and see how well we did today. See you back in just a minute. Okay, so run is complete, back at the house, back at the laptop, and it's time to upload that run, have a look at the numbers and see what the data is telling us. Now, it is fairly straightforward. We're going to open up today's run. If any of this doesn't make any sense, just drop a comment below and I can talk you through it in the comment section. But we're looking at our 3-minute interval and our 9-minute interval. We can see that on the graph, and we can also see it when we scroll down and we look at the different lap splits. Now what I need to do is take those two numbers. So take the power number from the 3-minute interval and take the power number from the 9-minute interval. Now you're going to add those two numbers together to give you a total, divide that total by 2, and then multiply that number by 0.95. That will give you your critical power number. And that's the number that you need to enter into this spreadsheet. And I'll link to this spreadsheet below. My critical power goes in that top box there. Now this spreadsheet gives you all of the different training zones for the different training plans that you might be running with, whether that is Jim Vance or Endurance Nation. I myself use a lot of Matt Fitzgerald's workouts, so I'm going to be looking at the numbers in his section. So I've put my critical power in, pressed enter, all of the calculations are done for me, and so now when I look through I can see what my power numbers are for each zone. So if I'm doing a warm-up, I know I need to stay between 170 and 258. If I'm doing zone 4 high intensity intervals, then I'm looking at numbers of 350 to 408. So it's all fairly straightforward. Once you've got those numbers in place and you know what they are for the different zones, you've just got to get sort of good at remembering them. Once you know what your numbers are for the different zones, it's just a question of trying to incorporate it into your training as much as you can, and particularly into any kind of race pace work that you might do, because those are the numbers that when you come to race day, you're going to need to really know. So for example, my next race coming up is a half marathon, and I know that to run my target time of sub 90 minutes, my power needs to be somewhere between 305 and 320, maybe 325. That's the range that I will need to be sitting in to hopefully reach my target of sub 90. But the more you train with it, the more in tune you come to what that number equals in terms of that pace and that heart rate, then the better you're going to be at knowing how to pace and how to judge your races and your workouts. Hopefully that covers everything you need to know about how to set your zones using power, and the spreadsheet itself is particularly useful, so I do recommend using that if you haven't done so already. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them below and I'll do my best to respond to you as well as I can. And just remember, I'm just like you. I'm learning as I go. I'm a normal runner, just running at the same paces that you are. Nothing particularly special about myself and my experience, so I'll be learning alongside you. Thank you very much for watching this far. If you haven't done so already, please do hit that subscribe and that like button, and hopefully I will see you in a new video very soon.